Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We're back with your morning's edition of the Rumour Mill. What's good? What's going on? Let me know in the comment section below. We've got a fair bit to talk about this morning, and I want to get your thoughts, as always, everybody in the chat. Make sure your interaction. Sean Connery, James Bond. I'm using my shuz this morning. Shout out to all of you guys. Make sure you're racking up those likes I've just mentioned. And yeah, I want to get into the content. So stick around till the back end of the stream, everybody, because we're going to be speaking probably about the more obvious thing that's going to be, that's sort of happening in today's stream, as in the main topic of conversation. I want to get your thoughts on that, everybody. Morning, Karen. Hello. Member for 5 months, Stevie Ward. Cheers, Steve. Thanks, my man. Really appreciate that. I must be dreaming. Exactly, Jay Racer. And morning as well. Finally, caught a live. Shout out to you, James. Ricky says, in my honest opinion, they will do what it takes to establish a solid 12th team in the Premier League. Match experience arena. Presumably, we're talking about Leeds and the 49ers there, mate. Morning, Liam. How you doing, buddy? Ricky says as well, marquee statement, cliche signing, not some random mirror nation right back from the Euros. Yeah, we'll get into a few bits of rumours when it comes to the Euros as well in due course, everybody. So I wanted to get into your transfer news today, everybody, and I guess there's no better place to start than Joe Rodon, and we've mentioned him previously on the channel, of course, and we've mentioned last night with you guys on exactly what's going on with Joe, and I wanted to get your thoughts as well. This is what the live streams are for. I'm going to do my snippets at the end of each day, which is almost like the news beat, news roundup. But I wanted to also do these live streams so that you guys can really get a feel of what's going on. And before I start, everybody, make sure you check the merchandise out, link in the description below. We're going to be doing more giveaways on the Patreon. We're going to be doing, you've got 10% off your first order, off your second order as well if you've ordered through Backfall. Link in the description below. Make sure you check that out. And yeah, I wanted to discuss Joe Rodon. And as I've just mentioned previously, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, your interaction, your engagement, and your general feelings on it. It's a big one, isn't it? Yeah, it feels like one of those where Leeds were sort of, I don't know, would they have been pinning the hopes on it? We've seen what's happened with Daniel Levy right now, with in terms of his shrewd negotiating over the years. We've also seen with Joe Rodon that he's not had that many minutes really over his 4-year tenure at Tottenham. Going out on loan to the continent, of course, for one of his seasons. That didn't, I don't know if that worked out that well. And he's come to Leeds, and Leeds has been the perfect breeding ground for him. Do you know what? I'm not, and I'm with you, James, a little bit. I'm not weirdly enough too disheartened by this one. And I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is, but when there's people talking about Joe Rodon and how gutted they are. I've mentioned on previous streams that I would be upset, but it's nowhere near got the feeling of Ben White for me. It just hasn't. Like, Ben's impact at Leeds for me was just so great that in terms of just being this aura and this just top player. This yeah, in my opinion, he was always going to be world class. And is he world class right now? That's up for debate, but I'm not 100% sure I've got that feeling with Joe right now. And I don't know why that is. I'm so happy with what he's done. Maybe it's how the season's panned out. I'm not sure. But I'm so happy with what he's done. I'm so happy with him as an individual. And I think that consistency and momentum in the side would be ideal. But I'm just not 100% sure that one will get done. If in fact Ipswich decide that this is their man, if this is their man, I don't think we can compete, which is a crazy notion to say that. They've been, sort of in the midst of League One for many a year, and now they're in the Premier League with 2 successive promotions. Over, I think it's 200 points they've managed to get over. And Leeds are just in this position right now where we just can't compete with them because they're a Premier League side, and that's how these things work. They're obviously very, very heavily backed as well by investment owners, which is going to help them for the foreseeable in the Premier League as well. So, look, as we know, we're not going to change history. Joe Rodon would have been an unbelievable sign, and he still might be an unbelievable signing. That is the point here. He still might be. He still might join Leeds United. We still might get that consistency and momentum, and that level of assurance that we've got with Joe at the back, and the development in his game. I think there has been a development in his game from the first time we saw him till the last time we saw him. But it just doesn't feel right now that if a Premier League club comes in we have much of a choice. That still put us up against some of the European clubs who maybe are in the top division, maybe your Bundesligas, maybe your Ligue 1s, where I believe he's played before, hasn't he, on loan, and your Serie A's. But I think the Premier League, it's difficult. It's difficult to really look at that and think that's going to happen. Leeds Old School says, loved Rodon. Matt says, like I mentioned yesterday, we can replace Rodon. Love the guy, but we can get a player who's just as good. Is the transfer window open? It's opening tomorrow, mate. Bradley says, HM. I read the end of your message at the start there, mate. Connor, it's been nagging me for a week. What does HMS? Basically, mate, it's just I don't think there's a severe meaning to it. HMS is just a ship, I believe, and normally, like, you'll see it, going to war. So it's almost like, we're just going and exploding and bashing everybody else out of the water. I think it's like Her Majesty's ships or something. I have no idea, mate. But yeah, it's just become a meme over the past 2 to 3 years. HMS pissed the league. Yeah, obviously you normally anyway. I'm really over explaining this now, but yeah, just go with it, Bradley, for goodness sake. I wrote on Ipswich says Darren, never mind, it's just players. Yeah, nearly got it, Mark. Connor, where's Amari Miller? Not sure, mate. Not sure. HMS means Her Majesty's ship. Yeah, nearly got it. Connor doing history lessons. There you go, mate. There you go. Okay, so let's get on to the next thing that I wanted to discuss this morning. Ben Johnson, it looks like West Ham are actually going to be offering him a bumper contract, which is something that I don't think any of us expected. I think it was a bit confusing because they said that they were going to offer him a 5-year contract in January. That was the reason that he didn't leave. Now we're seeing it, and it looks like they're potentially going to be offering him a massive bumper deal at the age of 24 this season as well. Obviously, we know they've got Kufal there. We know he's their sort of main man at right back. Is Ben Johnson going to get minutes over him? You'd say maybe not. It's a massive, massive contract that to give someone who's probably not going to be playing. Is Ben Johnson going to take it? I don't know, but obviously we know that he's out of contract right now. He'd be an amazing signing for a championship club, and he's been rumoured to Leeds United, to be coming to Leeds United for probably around about 12 months now. It was happening in the last window as well, where we were talking about him, potentially leaving or going out on loan, and then West Ham said he's not going to be going out on loan, want to keep him around the place. There's potential that he could be offered a new contract. Then it was murmured that he was going to be going out on loan, but then 100% coming back to West Ham. So it's been a little bit here and there with Ben Johnson, to be honest with you. So I can't really see a scenario where Ben Johnson's coming to Leeds at any point. We're looking at right backs. That's pretty obvious. We're even touting South Africa, according to several reports when it comes to scouts been out there. And the right back scenario is absolutely massive right now. It is huge. It's really been magnified by the fact that Archie, if he does stay with Leeds United, is going to be going back into midfield. So you're looking at it right now, and you've got to look at the squad improving. And we know right now if Somerville is to leave, if Nonto is to leave, if other individuals are to leave, the squad's going to be significantly weaker, but the division's weaker as well. The division is going to be weaker. So that's context. And that's something that we have to really, really look at. Leeds are going to get weaker, but the division's going to get weaker as well. In an ideal world, we'd have the squad from last season, but we built the squad last season, guys. That's what we've got to bear in mind as well. We built the squad. We can build the squad again. It's going to be more challenging, but with Red Bull there and Leeds managing to put out that ace card that no other championship club can do, that's a big benefit for Leeds. And we've got to use that. We've got to utilize that. And we've been told that Red Bull money is going to be going in on the pitch. It's going to be used primarily on the pitch, which means that signings are going to happen. They're going to have to happen. But Ben Johnson would have been a really nice signing in terms of a smart deal that gets done, that is under the radar a little bit. Leeds were battling with Rangers for his signature, but now it looks like West Ham, according to several reports this morning, are going to be turning around and offering him a new deal. Now, I wouldn't have minded him whatsoever. But there we go. We could have get Djed Spence. Oh, Lees, you have put me onto a really good sort of link there. It looks like he's about to sign or is in advanced conversations with Genoa. Djed was an interesting one, wasn't he? There was clearly stuff going on behind the scenes. I was team Djed for a large portion of it. I loved what he did at Nottingham Forest. And listen, I just thought his ability was high. I really did. And it looks like at this moment in time, he's going to be signing for the Serie A side, which maybe gives a little bit of understanding and credence to the fact that he is a good player. There is a good player in there. He's going to be playing Serie A level, and they do like him out there. He's had a successful loan spell. playing at right back, not left back. But look, it didn't work out for him at Leeds United. Connor Roberts came in. It didn't work out for him at Leeds United. And if I'd have told you at the start of the season, Leeds would have had two loanees, Djed Spence and Connor Roberts, two of which have real championship pedigree, and none of them work out, you'd have been a bit like, oh, that's a shame. Did we get promoted then? No, we didn't. Oh, okay. Well, why didn't we use Djed as a right back and Connor as a right back as well? Just didn't. Yeah, just didn't. Because Djed had to go left back. But Jed's not a left back, Con. No, he's not. But he was judged as a left back, and that's why a lot of people said he was garbage. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Okay. But yeah, no, I understand there was a lot of things going on in the background. There's been murmurs with his attitude. But what I will say is, he's done well at Genoa. He's done well at Genoa, and it looks like they're willing to take a punt on him and are willing to sign him on a permanent deal, which is a great move for him. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that does. But I'd have loved to have seen Djed work at Leeds United. There'd have definitely been a deal to be done there as well with Djed Spence, 100%, because Spurs were not keen, and as we've seen with Genoa now, who aren't of the financial power, and that's what we're talking about when you're comparing Serie A to even the Championship. A lot of Championship teams are wealthier than Serie A teams. Serie A teams really struggle when it comes to financial impact. So it'd have been nice to have seen maybe Leeds at some point take that up. It hasn't, as in if it'd have worked, it'd have been nice for Leeds to set up. That hasn't worked. Roberts hasn't worked, and we are where we are. Chris, shout out to you, buddy. Shout out to you, Ricky, as well. Let's have a look at some of your comments here. Boss in the building. Hey, boss. Hope you're all good. Hi, Gail and Karen. Hi, Gail, Cameron, and Thomas. Hello, hello. Yaboa says Andrea Pinamonti. He got relegated from Serie A and scored 11 goals and is up for sale. Surely it's worth chucking in a bid. 10 million reported, and see what they're after. Eric Smith could come in from Rodon. Still rumours we are chasing him. Aaronson coming back. So interesting. Yeah, and I've just seen you comment, Sujal, about Jack Clacken. It'd be a really big boy move for Leeds United. It'd be a lovely, lovely move by Leeds United to go and get someone like him. Is it realistic? We'll have to wait and see. Well, all we know is that they're hopefully working in the background. I won't be panicking right now, everybody. Not because we're just seeing, Leeds have definitely signed so and so. Don't panic about that. We'll wait and see what happens on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the next however many weeks and months, and we'll be able to cover it all with you on the Rumour Mill. But don't worry about right now. Leeds aren't linked to anyone. We all know the 49ers move in silence in the background, the Batman of football ownerships. I will say, everybody, these are available. Link in the description below. These are massive mugs. And Back 4 and 1 Leeds have got a little bit of a collaboration going at the minute. Well worth it. If you like a good mug of tea, it doesn't matter when these mugs are so small. You need a proper mug, proper Yorkshire mug. Okay, what else do we need to talk about? Brenden Aaronson appeared last night out of the blue, out of the mist, in a 1-1 draw that the States had with Brazil. A good result before their Copa America experience. And yeah, Brenden Aaronson came on in the 65th minute. And according to reports, I've had a look at his ratings, and it ranged from around 6 to 7.5. So we've got to be talking about Brenden Aaronson right now. We've got to be covering that because Brenden Aaronson is going to be a Leeds United player next season, as we know, confirmed reports. Farke and him have had a discussion behind closed doors, and Brenden Aaronson is going to be part. I'm sorry, I'll stop doing that. And is part of everything going forward when it comes to Leeds. So we've got to support the boy. Do we think it's right? Do we think it's wrong? There's still a mix of opinion. But last night he came on in the 65th minute, and apparently he did well. The American media was talking about him and saying, look, he came on and did exactly what was needed. He put pressure on them, and look, in very Brenden Aaronson sort of style, he had a massive chance at the end of the game and he missed it. But listen, if I was looking at him the other day, I met him in person at a coffee. No, I'm joking. I was looking at him the other day on a picture, and I was wondering, has his neck filled out a little bit? Has it now? What I'll ask you to do is, if you've got a tab open, just have a look at his US men's national team picture from when he came on as a sub last night. His neck looks like it's filled out a little bit. And I can tell you from experience that when your neck fills out a little bit, that means that you're on the weights. That means that you're doing a little bit in and around the gym. Your body is filling into your neck and your head. And I do wonder if he definitely looks a little bit bigger a little bit more developed than he was at Leeds United with that stupid white headband and his curly long hair and his runner bean body. I do think he has filled out a little bit. You can always tell by the neck. The neck is a really good indicator to when somebody has been working out and been working on themselves a little bit in the gym and been bulking. So I do wonder. That's a big thing because I was really disappointed with Brenden that didn't work. That didn't work in terms of when he went to Union Berlin and him filling out. I was like, is he taking this seriously? Does he think he's that good of a technician of a footballer? And just a general, person within the game that he doesn't need to improve. And it made me just look at him and go, okay, well, maybe you're not at that elite level, not only physically and athletically, but mentality-wise. Maybe you're not there, mate. Maybe you're not, because you don't feel like you need to do that. And I think Union Berlin proved that. But towards the back end, he was actually half decent for Union Berlin, got back in the side. And I'm looking at him now and thinking, okay, he's back in the US men's national team side for the Copa America tournament. He looks filled out a little bit, and I'm thinking, okay, is he taking this a little bit more seriously? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was decent. That was decent to see him coming off the bench last night. Got good reports, and yeah. Good morning, Connor, and to you all. Luke says, what's Gabe's view on it? Gabe has got an extensive thought process on the 49ers, the Brenden Aaronson. We did a massive across the pond, Luke. That is available on Patreon, mate. It's available. All proceeds go to running the channel. It's only £4 a month, mate. And yeah, we've done a massive bumper Brenden Aaronson episode over there. And it's actually really interesting because Gabe watches pretty much every minute of Brenden Aaronson, even in the Bundesliga. So it's well worth it. James says, I must admit, I met him in Harrogate. He was a lovely bloke. Not saying he was a good player, but he's a very likable guy. Maybe Aaronson is just into metal and his head is banging. Yeah, potentially, mate. Potentially looking like man, says Carl. Carl, you have to let me know what you think, mate. Looking like a man. I'm with you, Carl. I didn't know what was being said then. Looking like man. I don't know if you're saying I look like a man, which is a good start. Yeah, it's a good start for me. Positive. So yeah, let's get into your next rumor, everybody. And this is the biggie. This is the big boy. This is the golden rumor this morning. Now, according to The Athletic, are you with me? This might hurt a few of you. Leeds United may be willing to sell Archie Gray this summer and replace him with Oliver Skipp from Tottenham Hotspur. Boom! Shake, shake the room. Okay, so let's discuss this. A Daniel Farke player, again, that we've known that he likes. He likes Josh Sargent because he brought him in. He likes Kenny McLean. Leeds went in for him at the back end of last season. I think Farke has more of a say in the transfers than we actually think. I think we all think it's Jordan Miles, and then Daniel Farke just says yay or nay. That didn't happen with Stuart Webber. Farke had a big impact on the players that they signed. Josh Sargent was a massive indicator of that. Webber didn't want him for the money that they were about to pay. Daniel Farke forced that transfer through. Fact. Leeds United went for Kenny McLean at the start of the season, 850 grand. They were laughed out of the building. Fact. Ollie Skipp is a player that he loves. And why this has so much of an interesting spin for me is we know we're looking at Rodon. Could this be a double transfer swoop from Tottenham? That would be unbelievable. But is it going to be a scenario where Leeds have to let Archie Gray go? We know Tottenham are interested in Archie Gray. Is there a potential here for a swap deal with Oliver Skipp and Archie Gray? As we've just mentioned there, via The Athletic, everybody, Leeds United may be willing to sell Archie Gray this summer and replace him with Oliver Skipp. Now, Oliver Skipp, if we are to sell Archie Gray, isn't, in my opinion, going to be anywhere near what, the impact of Archie Gray in terms of what's going to happen with our financial structure would be great. You're probably looking at upwards of 35 million. I'll be honest with you guys. I think fans who are saying 50 million for Archie Gray, I mean, look at what Adam Wharton went for. And he's now in the England squad. Obviously, we know we know Archie Gray's he's a young lad. It's been his first season. It's been an unbelievable breakout season, but I don't think it's going to be any. Listen, I'm thinking 35 million plus installments. That's what I'm thinking for Archie Gray. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near 50 million quid for me. So yeah, let that sink in to start with. But if Tottenham are to pay a reduced fee for him, and maybe we are to get Rodon back on loan for a year as part of that deal, but then we're also to get the permanent signing of Oliver Skipp. You know, at championship level, Oliver Skipp was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Check out with any Norwich City fan. The second time they went up under Daniel Farke, he was literally the main man. He was unbelievable. Obviously, the link-up play with them with Buendia, they were able to keep that, and the spine was rock solid. Rock solid. I believe at that point as well, they had Grant Hanley, who was he was experienced, but the spine was, I think it was Krul, Hanley, Skipp, Buendia, Pookie. You know, that's your spine. It's a very good championship spine, that, you know, especially 2-3 years ago. So Ollie Skipp is an interesting one. I really like Ollie Skipp. I think he's everything you need in the championship. He is quality as well. You know, imagine him and Ampadu. Brother. But you do wonder if they're a little bit too similar in terms of profiles. But I do like Skipp. I think Skipp's a proper player. And him in a double pivot, he's a winner as well. Now, that is a question. That is a question that I'm going to pose to you in the chat. Would you be willing to trade Archie Gray for Oliver Skipp plus a fee? A big fee, you'd presume as well. But if that sell as Oliver Skipp, if we're talking hypotheticals, I reckon we'd probably get 25 plus maybe for Archie Gray. Because I reckon they'd probably value Skipp at 10 million, being, you know, talking hypothetical 8 to 10 million quid, because he's still relatively young as well. So maybe that'd be included in the deal. But I don't know. Let me know what you think, everybody. Brad says, can't see Archie wanting to leave so young. Jason, and this is a fair point, mate. Sorry, but you keep saying that a few years ago. How much playing time has he had since then? Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you. That the playing time could be an issue. Could be a massive issue. Now, listen. This was quote sourced as an article, everybody. It was quote sourced as an article. If you want to go check it out, have a look at news now. And this said, this is maybe willing, right? This is not saying Leeds are willing. It is maybe willing to sell Archie Gray this summer and replace him with Oliver Skipp from Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe willing. That means that there could be 5% chance in that happening, 6-7% in that chance in that happening. They may be willing. Don't take this too literally as this is happening. Okay, it's just an interesting topic of conversation. Farke loves him. There's definitely a connection there with Tottenham Hotspur that we've established, which is a good thing. You do wonder. You do wonder. Chris says Skipp and Rodon plus 10 to 15 million. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure that is going to be far off the mark, or maybe 15 million quid if it was Skipp and Rodon. If you're looking at permanence, that's not a bad deal whatsoever. But the club have to also put that against their accounts. And I think this is where this rumor may be a little bit far off the mark. It's, you know, how do they put that against the books? Is it going to be, it's not going to be the profit that Leeds need to put against the books if they're only getting 15 million quid as opposed to 35 plus. Whatever silly money he goes for, surely he'll be sitting on the bench. Why not spend another season at Leeds? I agree. James says, I'd rather sell Gray than Somerville. If we keep Somerville, then it's basically confirming a title challenge next season. I guess with that, James, it's not a bad point, but it's how far can Archie go next season? But then you got to look at Somerville. How far can he go? Jeffrey, I believe it's because we're in the championship. We can't afford to hold on to a player due to potential. And that's it as well. I think what we've got to do as well is really consider Leeds' power here. Calvin Phillips is the obvious one, who he rejected Tottenham straight away, and Villa straight away stayed on at Leeds, went up, blah, 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 whatever happened. But Archie Gray is an interesting one because his stock is so high right now. You know, being younger helps as well. He will be another year older next season, as we know. But being younger right now helps with the performance levels he's put in. The hype is massive, and the hype should be massive. What does Archie want to do? That might not be a case here. You'd hope so. You'd hope that Archie's feelings are considered, and I'm sure they will be. With being part of the Grey dynasty, we're still seeing out of the out of the pocket. Leeds are still doing stuff with Eddie Gray in and around now when it comes to the LUFC Foundation. So there is the Greys within Leeds United are absolutely massive. They're the huge custodian of the football club. That has to be considered. The prestige of Leeds United is a big thing according to the 49ers as well. So that will be taken into consideration. But if a mass bid comes, if a big bid comes, they can't reject that for Archie Gray. I don't think. I don't think they can. It has to go against the books and it's pure profit. So then what do they do? Then what do they do? Morning, Connor. Leaving aside the usual aspects of Cree, Somerville, Nonso, it would be great to see if we can sell Rasmus and Melier. This is the thing as well, Rajiv. I had a massive issue with a lot of Leeds fans in January when it came to Bamford and when it came to Melier. I was saying get rid of them now. I've said Melier and Bamford, get rid of them for years. But there is a sentiment because these were Bielsa players, and stay with me here. But you have got to look at certain individuals when you are at championship level and think their stock's really high right now. It's really high. People were calling me mental in January because Bamford had come back and they were like, "What you saying now, Connor? What you saying now?" Because he scored, I think it was 3 goals. And they were literally, it's people who I'd not seen on the channel in ages. And they'd hopped over to basically get in my chat and say, what you saying now? What you saying now? And I was saying, well, I'm saying the exact same thing. It's great that he's in form. Do I start him right now? Yeah. But if Kiefer Moore comes in, go back, check out the content in January if you want receipts. If Kiefer Moore comes in, Bamford goes. And bearing in mind, I was a big advocate this year for starting Joseph anyway, but he wouldn't do it. So I'm thinking, right, Perot or Bamford. Bamford is a number 9. Joe Perot isn't. Start Bamford. He helps with the system. That was a success for a decent period of time. But Bamford's stock was high. Melier for Leeds United, his stock has been high this season, and especially toward in that January period where we're doing really well, toward the mid and back end of it. I think Leeds should have been looking at moving him on and bringing someone else in. Now, I'm not saying it's as easy as that. Of course, we're not playing football manager here. But what I will say is, as a fan base, we need to understand that other clubs will be looking at these Leeds United products when they are young or when they're in form. And you've got to really take that heart and stick it over there and use your head for a lot of this. When players' stocks are high and they're a bit streaky, you've got to sell them when the stock is high and get your heart out. Oh, Bamford's doing well now. Let's keep him. No, don't flip-flop. Get rid of him. Bring in someone else. Archie Gray, this is a completely different conversation. However, that heart does have to remain over there. And it's really, really, really difficult to do that. But if we're talking about central midfield, if we're talking about mass profit when it comes to Archie Gray and Oliver Skipp coming in, an experienced winner who's played in the Premier League numerous times, if that is a conversation, I'm not saying it is because in the article it says May, which doesn't mean it's happening. That is a trade-off that we can talk about, and I don't think wholly would be horrific for Leeds, in my opinion. But his stock is really, really, really high right now, Archie Gray. Now, if he stayed at Leeds for another season, would the stock be as high? I don't know. I think it would be because I think he's a fantastic player. I do like Oliver Skipp. Would I like Oliver Skipp, Archie Gray, and Ampadu in that midfield? Oh my God, of course I would. Is it realistic? Probably not. And I think Oliver Skipp would be looking at a permanent move now, not another loan. It's not going to help his career whatsoever. So I think if he's to leave Tottenham, it's a permanent. Best striker we've had is Lord Bamford. I know you're joking, mate. I know you're joking. The article from Nancy at The Athletic feels forced because of Phil's departure. They had to put article out and they have shown the quality of the coverage won't stop. Yeah, I think you're talking about Phil leaving there. Yeah. Well, all right, everybody, we'll leave it there. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts on the rumours? Please let me know. We've mentioned Wober a little bit as well. We've seen Wober on the thumbnail a little bit. I wanted to discuss the problem-solving issue with Wober being in the side and that being a massive deal. If he is within the ranks, if we're able to get him back, he solves the centre-back issue literally right now, which is massive. His quality is next at a different level. Leeds exchanging with Chelsea. Once again, this comes back to Alfie Gilchrist. He's open to a move. Open to a move. Let me just read a couple of the quotes. I'm sure in the next coming weeks, he will end up at a championship club, but it's more likely late July or early August because of what I've said. Leeds, Preston and Blackburn are the ones who are going to be making formative approaches with Alfie Gilchrist. So I'll be expecting him to be a Leeds United player, and we'll leave it at that. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Let me make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know about Oliver, Skipp, Archie, Gray, all the rumours that we've spoken about this morning. As I say, thank you so much for your support. Make sure you're liking the video. There's not enough likes on the video, so please rack it up. It just makes it higher on the algorithm. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe, as I've said. But head on over to the Patreon and get some bonus content. If you want a big, lovely One Leeds mug as well to get your Yorkshire tea in, check it out. Link in the description below. Back 4 and One Leeds.